All right. Well, I would like to welcome everybody to today's State of the City event. I am Derek Jagger, and I am proud to serve as the chair of the Chamber Board. I also want to thank Nicole for hosting in this beautiful space here at the Public House in the Golf Course. And also want to remind you, or not remind you, let you know that this event is being filmed, so they aren't going to go around and collect your plates. So when you're done, just go ahead and push them in, and hopefully that won't be too much of a distraction to you. As I mentioned, I am proud to serve as the chair of the Chamber Board, and I know a lot of you were at the last event, so I want to get in uniform here real quick before I get started. I do like to fish, and it is important, and I do like to wear my blue uniform. So I was away, but I did get a video of the event. So hopefully, Kelly, this looks a little bit better to everybody. So, all right. So the Chamber is the sponsor of this event. We're very pleased to sponsor this very important event, and excited to continue to collaborate with the City of Hastings and many other of our key partners around growth-oriented initiatives, as together we will lead our changing community into the future. It's my honor today to introduce Mayor Mary Fassbender to deliver the State of the City. A lifelong resident of the Hastings community, Hastings Mayor has devoted her life to serving the public in multiple ways. As a local business owner for over 36 years, community volunteer leading many local nonprofits and organizations, the co-founder of the Gobblegate, which has raised $1.5 million for local charity, a city commissioner, many times over, I believe, and was elected as mayor in 2018. So please join me in welcoming Mayor Mary Fassbender to hear a recap of our 2019 and insight into the upcoming year.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining me here today at this beautiful venue to look back on the accomplishments of 2019 and our goals for 2020. I want to thank Christy Bars and the Chamber of Commerce for coordinating and hosting the event, and also to Nicole for letting us use this beautiful space. I'd also like to take a moment to acknowledge my elected officials who are with us today. Our council members, Tina Fulch, Ward 1, Trevor Lund, Ward 2, Lisa Leifeld, Ward 3, Joe Balsonic, Ward 4, our at-large, Lori Brox, and Mark Vaughn, who is under the weather today. I see we also have a couple school board people here. I think Dave Pemble is in the audience. Our commissioner, Mike Slavic, is with us as well. Our state senator, Carla Bigham. House of Representatives, Tony Jurgens. And from Congresswoman Angie Craig's office, Morris Allen. Wendy Wolf is with us also from our Met Council. Thank you all for being here today and continuing to partner with us at all levels. We appreciate your work and commitment to the citizens of Hastings. I also want to welcome the businesses and organizations who are here today too. Your continued efforts to provide service, support growth, create jobs, and engage people truly enhance the vitality of this community. 2019 was a year of growth and learning for me. As my first year of mayor, Hastings mayor, I spent many hours meeting with city departments, city commissions, council committees, and learning the role that each of these people play for the city I met with many of our city partners in local and state legislatures to ensure our standing partnership could transition along with our new leadership. My previous role as a business owner and a volunteer in the community, helped as a community volunteer, helped me to ease that transition, and I appreciate those who worked with me and to inform me and connect with me on a different role. I want to take a minute to recognize Administrative Service Director Julie Flatten for her incredible efforts to keep us afloat during this transition time. Julie served as the interim city administrator for the past year. She was a key figure in helping me in my new role, handling staff retirements, and organizing the search for a new city administrator. Julie has been employed with the City of Hastings for 13 years and has incredible knowledge of our city. In addition to that, she has a very level-headed leadership style that kept the organization running smoothly through this change. Thank you, Julie. City staff has been amazing at helping me to learn and understand how government services work and how city processes work. They too had a year of transition with a interim city administrator and a new mayor. But they made it through the year. And the reason why I feel they made it through the year is they focused on the city's core values and their commitment to providing great service to our citizens. I will let them tell you what they have done in the past year through our video.
2019 was a year of change for the City of Hastings as an organization. With that change comes an opportunity, making room for fresh ideas and new growth. Our team is strong and our staff is resilient. We seek to carry out the direction of the City Council. We work hard to provide our residents, visitors, and businesses a high level of service as we focus on our core values of communication, optimal service, respect for resources, and enthusiasm. Listen for these themes as we take a look back at our accomplishments from 2019.
Hi, I'm Public Works Director Nick Egger, and here's a recap of last year's Public Works highlights. The winter of 2018 and 19 was one of the snowiest in recent memory, with February alone bringing in more than half of the season's total with 39 inches and a spot as the fourth snowiest month of all time. This kept our operations staff as busy as they've ever been, with 2 out of every 3 days that month spent exclusively on snow clearing and removal. Just a few weeks later, all of that snow gave way to concerns of intense spring flooding, and we turned to diligently preparing for rising water on the Mississippi and Vermilion rivers. Early forecasts predicted water on the Mississippi to rise to levels rivaling the 2001 flood. In the end, we experienced our 7th highest flood with a crest of 19.49 feet on March 31st, and the Mississippi would stay at or above flood stage for an astonishing 12 straight weeks. Meanwhile, although high water was shorter-lived along the Vermilion, it did not spare our trail underpasses from needing repairs. April brought the adoption of the city's ADA transition plan for public transportation facilities, which sets a course for ensuring that consistent and intentional focus is placed on maintaining and improving pedestrian accessibility on sidewalks and trails throughout the city. Just a few days later, we held an open house to lay out the technical and public health recommendations for changing our water system disinfection process to using gas chlorination. After a setback with initial project bids in the fall, we have refined the scope and design and will be working on these system changes throughout 2020. As April wound down, MnDOT and city staff held the 4th public outreach meeting for the Highway 316 improvement project to provide an update on the final scope of work. One of the key features of this project will be the city's first roundabouts at multiple intersections along the corridor, and construction is scheduled to begin in the latter half of 2021. Business finally started to get back to usual in June as we kicked off one of our largest projects ever to renew and replace aging infrastructure, working in neighborhoods east of Hastings Golf Club and south of the Vermilion River. Public engagement meetings attended by many property owners in these neighborhoods earlier in the year once again proved to be a valuable step in helping shape the final project designs. After construction wrapped up in September, this program improved streets and utilities that serve nearly 300 residences. As we move forward in 2020, we'll continue to focus on several ongoing efforts to improve and replace our infrastructure, including a major project to reconstruct large segment of 15th Street east of Pine Street, the continuation of our multi-year water meter replacement program, rehabilitation of one of our 6 water supply wells, and working with our partners at MnDOT and throughout the city to begin a study of Highway 61 with the goal of determining a future vision for this key transportation and economic corridor. With all of these efforts and much more, our Public Works staff will keep striving to bring high quality of life and public safety for all of those who live, work in, and visit Hastings.
Hello, I'm John Hinsman. I'm the Community Development Director for the City of Hastings, and I'm going to be recapping some of the items that we worked on in community development in 2019. One of the big items that came to fulfillment in 2019 was the Confluence, the redevelopment of the Hudson Manufacturing Building located on the riverfront in downtown Hastings. In 2019, we saw the construction of a new parking ramp directly across the street from this facility to add on another 120 spaces to downtown. We also had the construction begin on the park improvements for a new park, which will be located between the Hudson Building and the Mississippi River. The park included a new trail connections, and also a brand new overlook, which is currently under construction, which will be open to the public. The great thing about this project is it's all open to the public. Confluence will be taking care of the maintenance items on it, but we are able to secure a public use agreement so that the public can have full access to this development. What will be happening in 2020 is the development will become a hotel, apartments, convention center, and restaurant, and all those will be substantially completed by the end of this year. Another theme on 2019 was housing. We were able to see the completion of a couple of apartment complexes, about 90 units in the Voyager Estates in Glendale Heights, and another 60 units coming online with the Vermilion Shores Phase 2 apartment building. Things are also continuing to move on that subject of housing as well. We have a project moving forward right now for a senior housing facility at Schoolhouse Square, as well as a new annexation on the west end of town. From an economic development standpoint, we continue to work with our HEDRA, our Hastings Economic Development and Redevelopment Authority, in bringing forward assistance and aid for new businesses. Within the industrial park, we had a land sale in 2019 in which we have a new mini storage facility that was approved and will be coming for construction later on this year as well. We're very thankful for the assistance we've received from our commissions, our Planning Commission, Heritage Preservation Commission, and HEDRA to help assist us and the City Council in making these great activities occur.
Hi, I'm Dan Waticha, Hastings City Administrator. I just moved to town and started in this position a couple months ago in October. Prior to coming to Hastings, I worked in similar positions in Bath, Michigan, Evansville, Wisconsin, and a unique 3-city position for Cortland, Lafayette, and Nicollet, Minnesota. In my first few months here, I've been getting to know my staff, the workings of the organization, our city council, and meeting with many of the businesses and organizations around town. In 2020, I look forward to working with the city council and senior staff on some goal setting and prioritization. We have some very exciting housing and business developments coming, and we'll be doing some partnering on the Vermilion Street corridor improvements. And I look forward to working with you, the Hastings community, and honoring our core values. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Julie Flatten, and I'm the Administrative Services Director for the city. I oversee our internal service departments, including Human Resources, Finance, and IT, in addition to licensing, elections, and communications. 2019 brought a few exciting initiatives that affect the public. Our IT department added Wi-Fi capabilities in all of our 5 main city buildings to improve access for employees, visitors, and those utilizing our public meeting spaces. In addition, we partnered with Hastings Community TV to upgrade the City Council chambers with new audio-visual equipment, improving the experience for those attending meetings in person or watching at home. Our finance department continues to earn high marks for the financial processes, maintaining a AA stable bond rating from Standard & Poor's. This is good news because it affects our ability to borrow money at a reasonable rate. In addition, staff worked diligently to develop a reasonable budget to support the City Council's direction of a modest 3.9% tax levy increase. In human resources, we continue to see an increase in employee retirements. This is a similar issue faced by all cities. As a result, we hired 8 new full-time employees in 2019 and assisted with the hiring of the city administrator. We continue to explore ways to attract and retain top talent in our organization. In 2020, a major focus will be on the election process. We've begun training new election judges to prepare for the addition of a 3rd election. The presidential nomination primary will take place on Tuesday, March 3rd, followed by the primary election in August and the general election in November. We will also be rolling out an updated city website that will add functionality to streamline your experience as you look for city information online. We're proud of everything we've accomplished in 2019 and look forward to a successful 2020.
I'm John Townsend with the Hastings Fire Department. In 2019, the Fire Department continued to work on its vision and mission to provide effective fire and EMS services, as well as community education and outreach to make a safer and stronger community. In 2019, we responded to 3,241 EMS calls and 583 fire response calls, for a total of 3,824. From 2018, this is a 3.5% increase in responses. Our community outreach and fire prevention education programs continued with a strong year. We reached over 1,800 students in grades kindergarten through 5th, teaching fire prevention and fire safety classes. Our open house again had a large response from the community and gave us the opportunity to continue educating them on safety and fire prevention. We continue to partner with other city departments on community programs, including Safety Camp, National Night Out. A few highlights for 2019. We do have a new look ambulance remount, which is a completely red ambulance, which is a slight difference from what we used to have. This will be the ambulance that we are moving in the future with. We also have 3 new paid-on-call staff that have completed their EMS certifications and have begun responding in the community. We have 2 full-time staff that started in 2019. And we also put 1 new staff vehicle into service. Thank you. The department is looking forward to another year of dedicated service to our community.
Good afternoon. I'm Chief Schaefer of the Hastings Police Department, and I'm proud to share with you some of the highlights and accomplishments of 2019. With the see it, own it, solve it, do it approach, the men and women of the HPD responded to over 23,000 calls for service in 2019, nearly 4,000 resulting in a police report. The additional supportive evidence, such as statements, photos, body and squad camera, are culminated by records and evidence staff in preparation for a prosecutable case. In alignment with the city's core values, we take great pride in providing optimal service to our community. Last year, crisis intervention training was completed by all patrol and investigative staff. One of our own became a crisis intervention coach, and we implemented both less lethal options and coordinated response with our county partners when dealing with those in crisis. Providing high-quality professional service requires training, commitment, and compassion. Last year, officers completed over 22 hours of professional development training, ensuring we are using best practices in today's policing. When it comes to respect for resources, our department took advantage of state, local, and federal grants to ensure we have up-to-date equipment and are providing a service to the community at the lowest possible cost. In 2019, we acquired 6 defibrillators, or AEDs, through matching grants from the Mid-Wacaton Sioux community and Walmart for a total of $8,000. The state of Minnesota DW officer grant supported over $65,000 in officers' salaries to enforce drunk driving in our community. Lastly, our newest addition to the HPD fleet and emergency management was the mobile command vehicle acquired from the city of Minneapolis. Funding for this vehicle came from proceeds as a result of criminal forfeitures, and no tax dollars were used. Not only are we committed to providing fast and courteous service to our citizens, we spend a great deal of time participating in community events and citizen engagement. We continue to support Special Olympics by participating in the Law Enforcement Special Olympics Torch Run, Polar Plunge, and Cop on Top. We spend time supporting the United Way through Foods for Kids Stuff the Bus campaign, Hastings Family Services Pie in the Face Challenge, and participation in the diversity and inclusion conversation. I'm extremely proud of this organization, and we look forward to serving you in 2020.
Hi, my name is Tom Bach, and I'm the building official at the City of Hastings. In 2019, we were very busy. We issued nearly 1,700 permits, of which we built a new apartment building that was finished last year, an 88 unit at Voyager Estates, and we started another apartment building, a 60 unit lot at 46 and 31st. We saw the completion of the 2-story downtown parking ramp. McNamara Field saw some big improvements with artificial turf and remodel of their concessions and ticketing area. Regina Hospital had 2 remodels, minor ones that went on inside. And Dakota County Center had a couple more remodels. In fact, they redid their whole data center there. McDonald's had an interior remodel. Great Rivers Landing at the old Hudson building downtown got started this fall. There was over 200 property maintenance cases that were opened. We had a very busy year in 2019, and we look forward to another busy year in 2020, which should see some great projects going up in the City of Hastings again this year, and we look forward to working with the contractors.
Hi, I'm Chris Jenkins, the City of Hastings Parks and Recreation Director, and I'm going to share with you some highlights from 2019 with our department. The first item I'd like to share is our 2019 Pavement Management Plan. This plan evaluates the condition of and provides an overall rating for the current condition of the pavement on our trails and outdoor athletic courts within the Hastings Parks and Trail system. This is very important for us because it helps plan for projects to reconstruct a trail segment or to complete some preventative maintenance steps before the trail or court surface requires more extensive work. It's also very important for us because of how many people use these facilities every day. It is no secret that people are traveling to Hastings to ride bikes on our trails and to connect to multiple regional trails both to the north and to the west of Hastings. Hastings really is a great place to be a trail user. In 2020 and future years, we will use this plan and its recommendations to help maintain and improve Hastings' parks and trail system. Another important area of focus in 2019, trees, specifically ash trees. As many of you are aware, emerald ash borer arrived in Hastings a few years ago. Since that time, residents and the city have been taking action to help keep emerald ash borer from spreading and to keep tree damage to a minimum. In 2019, your neighbors worked with Rainbow Tree Care to treat over 400 ash trees. This is important because the treatment kills the insects that are in the tree growing, and it kills any of the ash borers that might stop by and feed on that tree. Along with residents treating trees, Parks and Recreation staff also treated over 150 ash trees within the Hastings parks. 2019 was the 3rd year for these organized treatments, and in total, more than 1,800 ash trees have been treated to prevent infestation by emerald ash borer. Keep up the good work, Hastings. 2019 was another great year for having fun and making connections in Hastings. The Hastings Civic Arena had almost 2,000 hours of ice rental in 2019. They hosted 25 high school hockey games, 6 youth tournaments. They have skating lessons, open skate, camps, and special events attracting thousands of residents and visitors to this local amenity through the winter. This past summer, the Hastings Aquatic Center had a record year for swimming lessons. Over 820 kids registered for swim lessons. Great job, Hastings. And our amazing summer staff over there watched more than 14,000 guests throughout the summer. There are plenty more summer, fall, winter, and spring activities to highlight. There's always plenty to do, and 2019 was no different. Join an adult softball, soccer, or volleyball team. Watch some games, especially the Hastings Hawks baseball games at Betts Park. Check out the summer programming at Levy Park, where there are over 30 free events during the summer, including live music, movies, exercise, family activities, arts and culture, and so much more. Tell them they can check out winter recreation events like families fishing at Lake Rebecca, family skate night, after-hours teen skate night, guided snowshoe hikes, and Santa and s'mores. Tell them to call us at the Parks and Recreation Department or stop by our office. We can help. Thank you, Hastings.
In 2020, we will look to the City Council to define priorities in the areas of economic development, housing, and growth. We are committed to developing relationships and partnering with other local and state organizations, keeping the best interests of our community in mind. We will continue to reach out to residents to participate actively in developing the future vision for Hastings, because when we work together with a common vision, that is when Hastings truly succeeds.
Wow, you can see nothing stops this incredible team for our community. I would like to really give them a round of applause for all they've done. Like I said, 2019 was a huge learning curve for me. I, along with my fellow council members and city staff, spent the year focusing on 4 themes, as you see. I worked hard to make more important connections to Hastings by meeting with our local and regional partners, working to connect with fellow council members, learning from our talented city staff, and continuing to reach out and listen to the concerns of our citizens. This time is extremely valuable, and that became apparent to me during the spring flooding we experienced. During this time of crisis, to see what truly stands for, and I was blown away by the support we saw from our citizens, our state and local representatives, our staff, and our local organizations. This was a moment of real partnership and a time that holds a special place in my heart. When we put up the call for the help for assisting the sandbagging for the east side of Hastings, 500 people showed up. Governor Walz, Lieutenant Flanagan showed up, Congresswoman Craig showed up, Senator Carla Bigham, and Representative Jurgens. Commissioner Slavic and many of my fellow council members showed up, along with hundreds of citizens and leaders from our faith community who helped organize us. I've never been so proud of these connections. I was Hastings proud. Throughout the past year, I've been working to develop my skills as a leader, my knowledge of city government process and procedure, our ability to find consensus as a group, so we can start to work together on new initiatives. At the beginning of my tenure, I held an issue identification workshop to learn the goals and visions of my city council counterparts. This was a great way for me to learn which issues were important to them and to see what differences we had and to see the dynamic of our group in action. Since then, we have had multiple council workshops to learn more about some of these issues that have been identified and other issues that may come along the way. I've had a lot to learn about the process and procedure of working on a council. As many of you know, I've been a business owner and a volunteer for the community my whole life. I'm hands-on, a doer, and I've been accustomed to getting things done, addressing challenges, and making things happen on my own. Learning to work together with the city government guidelines was a huge change for me. For the help, and I want to thank everyone for the help and patience of my fellow council members and the city staff who have learned and helped me to navigate new structure in these procedures and policies. But I'm committed to learning, and I'm thankful for the opportunity to continue to develop as my role as the Hastings mayor. This year's City Council will work together to continue to develop as a team. We are excited to unite in a more formal goal-setting retreat, along with the department heads, to build on existing plans and framework to find areas of consensus to focus our energy and resources on. This effort will benefit the citizens of Hastings as we look to build a stronger and sustainable future for our community. 2019 was also a year of renewal. After a thorough search, we were thrilled to bring on Dan Waticha on as our new city administrator. Dan brings many years of leadership and a wonderful listener. He's thoughtful and articulate. He takes time to gather all the information necessary to make a decision. We are confident in his ability to lead us. We also had a major shift in the leadership at our fire department, and we are close to announcing a new fire chief. We were proud to attract a great, talented pool for this important position and look forward to renewed growth in the culture of our fire department. A new chief is expected to be sworn in March. As we look to the future, there are some exciting projects that focus on renewal within Hastings. Our staff has worked diligently alongside Minnesota Department of Transportation to plan and update our Highway 316 corridor heading south. With your input, a safer and more pedestrian-friendly vision has been developed for this highly trafficked area of our city. We look forward to continue partnering with MnDOT on this important thoroughfare. Construction on this project is due to start next year. Another area of upcoming renewal is the Mississippi River Gateway Trail Partnership with Dakota County. Dakota County will take over the management of a section of the trail system, specifically the area along the Mississippi River, to develop their vision to connect residents and parks by improving connectivity and protecting and enhancing natural resources and open space. This partnership can benefit us by aiding with maintenance and infrastructure enhancements along such a valuable community asset. These and other partnerships are what make Hastings a smaller outer ring suburb find success. By pooling our resources and being creative with our talents, we can continue to see growth and development we desire. In 2019, we began to see renewed interest in housing, economic development, and community growth. We've seen growth in new housing options with the development of Voyager Estates, Vermilion Shores Apartments, with the development and the recently announced land annexation to the west of our town. With increased interest in people moving to Hastings, the need of variety housing option for all is necessary. We are thankful for the developers who are investing in the future of Hastings. The Confluence development is another exciting project that has taken years of commitment, planning, and partnerships. We are thrilled that the longstanding vision for this community will soon be realized, and we are thankful for Pat Regan and his team for their vision and their commitment of excellence. The completion of this project will be a crowning jewel to our historic downtown. The impact of tourism, development, growth are already becoming evident by the increasing number of inquiries that we are receiving. Pat just informed me today that the start of the construction will start February 17th, so we are thankful of that. With business inquiries up, our economic development team is ready to roll up their sleeves and focus on key partnerships and opportunities, including the Vermilion Street Corridor Plan. Working closely with current and future business owners, landowners, and developers will play a key role in the growth and renewal we desire to see along the Vermillion Street corridor. Partnerships are a vision like that take patience. This project will not be fast, and it won't always be easy. But as we commit to this long-term vision, the benefits will be felt all around our town. Not only for business growth, but for quality of life and our community image. Another key partnership for continued growth is Thrive in Hastings. We began a deeper look into our changing demographics, but it morphed into a community effort to help each of us commit to truly welcoming growth and the change that Hastings needs to succeed. When I first heard the words diversity, inclusion, and equity, I was a bit intimidated. I always felt that Hastings was a welcoming place with caring individuals for each other. But as I've taken time to learn about equity and inclusion, I see not everyone feels that way and feels that benefit in the same way. Sometimes we create walls unintentionally. But I've learned that if we can take small steps to break down those walls and help Hastings grow, that is what we can do. By helping newcomers feel welcomed, truly welcomed, we have a better chance of them planting their roots here. And why is that important? Newcomers will create demand for new housing. Newcomers will send their children to our schools, of which we hear that there are declining enrollments. Newcomers will fill empty jobs, allow our current businesses to grow, and even attract new businesses. Newcomers will spend their money here, keeping our favorite restaurants, coffee shops, and service providers in the business. This is our why. And I know it's not always easy. It requires us to step up out of our comfort zone. But I've learned that if I sit at a table with people I don't know and take the time to strike up a conversation, I find out that our worlds are not so far apart. We may each own a small business. We may each have our best friends are our furry little animals, or we love Diet Coke. We might learn that we have something in common and something to offer each other. Maybe friendship, maybe advice, maybe a new way of thinking of the world. Hastings, we are on a cusp of some really amazing things. We all need to commit to work through our challenges by connecting with people, developing our vision, renewing our commitment to the future, and partnership to make this all happen. I believe we can do this. I look forward to walking down the path of 2020 with you and beyond. Thank you.
All right, I want to thank you all again. Thank you, Mary, for that wonderful speech, and all the city staff and council members that contributed to the video. I want to also thank Christy and the chamber staff, as well as all my fellow chamber board members for putting this on and all the work that we do. And most of all, thank you all for coming and being part of our wonderful community. I haven't cleared with Nicole, but hang out for a while. Don't get in trouble with your boss, and have a good day.